What are we
Yeah.
doing? What are we doing right
Oh,
now?
okay. So
Tell the audience about the meditation.
set a 2-minute timer
Okay.
on my Apple Watch.
Let me
All
drop
you
my
have to
phone.
do,
I dropped my phone. We're good. We're good. I don't know what to do.
all you have to do is just close your eyes for 2 minutes
Hmm.
and just think about your breathing.
Okay. And that was 2 minutes and 30
Okay.
seconds. Yes.
How should we
I
start?
don't know. This is a pretty new thing that we're doing. Do you want to go first, or should I talk about something first?
I think I have something good.
Okay.
Why it's a very good.
It's it is pretty good. I agree.
The first thing I want to talk about is why starting a podcast is a great idea for me right now in my
Your
life.
voice keeps cracking.
Is the audio quality good though?
Yes.
All right, that's all that matters.
Okay.
So why is it the perfect move in my life right now? There's not a whole lot of editing
Hmm.
required.
Yeah, it's pretty accessible nowadays. Everybody's making their own podcast. It's become a joke now. Honestly, when we were calling last time and I said, let's make a podcast, I was full on joking. And you were like, yes, let's do it. And I was like, you know what? Sure, I would love to do that.
It's the perfect thing for me to do because other than it being easy, we would probably have these conversations anyways. Ever since that call, I've been waking up and thinking about the podcast.
Yeah, I've honestly been thinking about it as well. Like, throughout my day, I've been kind of focusing on what's going on in my life more and kind of waiting for this to talk to you. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it is a great idea because it encourages us to um, kind of talk more to each other and get closer.
Oh yeah. My internal dialogue has been like a podcast. Like my
Oh.
thoughts are just a podcast. It's a great outlet for creativity. How to say it, what words you're gonna use, what you're gonna talk about.
Right. I think it this definitely helps me kind of clear my mind more and in a way where I can redirect my thoughts and kind of reflect back on them more than I usually would.
Also, as a creative today, people need to know who you are, not
Hmm.
just what you make. Artwork or stories or business, anything you can think of. Being a creator online is gonna help.
Definitely. I think it's easier to connect to other people online when you know their beliefs and it's almost it's like having a parasocial relationship with this person, but I guess sometimes it can become like an unhealthy relationship.
What do you mean by parasocial?
Parasocial is it's mostly like audience members or fans having this relationship with
Hmm.
somebody online who has
Hmm.
no idea who they are.
It might be, what was the word that you used?
I
Unhealthy?
said it yeah, it could be unhealthy the more a fan member follows a certain influencer online. Maybe without realizing who you are as a person, you can take traits from them and use them to reflect on who you want to be. Um, but in like a dangerous way, you might want to purchase all their merchandise and just consume all their content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might be easier nowadays to kind of want to follow people online instead of connecting with others or seeing what online influencers are up to that they want to replicate that.
Make it clear that, hey, first of all, like, I'm just a guy. I'm just a regular person.
Hmm.
Make it known that they're flawed.
Right. The bigger you get online, the more responsibility you have to take for yourself. So like you, Isai, yourself, you're a pretty big influencer. So sometimes you might have to state like, hey, um, I'm a person too. I have flaws as well. And take everything I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, in other words, just stay humble.
Yes.
Because right now people kind of have a notion that if you're famous online, it must mean that you're really, really special. But really, it's just that, I don't know, you were consistent with it. You had a goal in mind, but everybody can do it.
Right. Yeah. I kind of want to move towards something else that you made me think of. And this is a topic that I'm interested in, is basically everybody online can become successful if they try hard enough and become consistent. Um, but sometimes people do become lucky and immediately gain a following. People might, especially on TikTok or YouTube, they can become successful overnight by constantly posting videos. And then um, they'll move into different fields like making movies or making music. And they're not that well experienced, and their fans might trash on it, or like other people will trash on it and be like, this influencer isn't good at making this type of art. What it should be about is striving to work on your talent and then become famous. You know what I mean? I think it's easier now to become famous and then actually like work on what kind of art you want to specialize in.
You know, if I really tried hard enough,
Hmm.
if it was my like singular goal is to be famous online, I would probably come up with something, maybe something crazy. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like the point isn't to get famous. Like you said, the point is to get better at your craft.
Right. And that kind of goes back to what we said earlier about following influencers and um, becoming your own person and putting yourself out there for the in this podcast so others can see your values and your beliefs and being your own person instead of replicating these recipes and making videos to be famous. What it really should be about, if you want to gain an audience, is doing your own thing that makes you happy because people will resonate with that. People will see how passionate you are about your craft. That will gain you longevity in being successful. If you really want like loyal fans and to become successful the right way, I guess, is to literally just be yourself and find your own personality and specialize in your craft that you're passionate about because people will see that passion. They'll really jive with what you're talking about because you know what you're talking about. Isai, where'd you go? So, do we want to move on or
Yeah, yeah, let's move on.
okay? So glad you said that. What sausage do you want, Isai?
Still remember
Which,
that?
yeah,
I'm impressed.
I have a pretty good memory. That stuck with me.
I'm glad. Yeah, 'cause I remember we were making bratwursts, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and
And
me
oh,
being polite, I
uh-huh.
offered you one, and I was like, "Which bratwurst do you want?" And there was like a regular one and a burnt one. You said, "I want that one," and I said, "No, Isai, I wanted that one."
Yeah, we're trying to be polite. We're trying to be polite, and we offer someone the good sausage, but then we end up regretting it because we were like, no, I wanted that one.
Hmm. I mean, most of the time when I'm offering, I'm okay with giving it away because I would rather the other person enjoy than myself,
Hmm.
which gets into who I am as a person, which is like a people pleaser. And you told me, Kyle, stop being such a people pleaser.
Have you used that since?
I have. When I offer food to someone, I only make sure that I don't want it.
Good.
Anyway. Okay, so I have a topic that I don't know, interested me when I was writing it down, which is different different hobbies, I guess you can call it, which is all about tricking the brain. For example, movies is a series of um camera shots to make it seem like events are taking place, or makeup. We use makeup like special effects to make it look like um, we got burns, there's like a scar. We can age ourselves with makeup. You've got wigs, um, and then I guess magic as well. It's all about tricking the brain into thinking there's a coin behind your ear. And then you can get into like reality TV shows, which is all about the editing. It's hitting two people against each other when it's really not what they intended. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just all an illusion.
Hmm.
But we love that illusion, right? 'Cause
We do. People love horror movies because we want to feel that emotion of being tense or scared, but knowing that we're actually safe. Well, leg shot. We got Isai leg shot.
so
That's
can I ask what got you thinking about this topic?
what got me thinking. So, a friend of mine goes to school for hair and makeup, and they always need models. So I offered, and that weekend they were doing aging makeup. So they made me look like 50 years older or so, and I had to sit there for a couple hours talking to the makeup artist. And it popped into my head like, isn't it weird how we're tricked into thinking I actually look older than I am, when really in reality we know that's not true.
Yeah, there's blood, people die,
Hmm.
but they don't really die
Right. And it's weird how in movies we get grossed out by gore when we know that it's not actually real. Like
because
it's
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 pretty,
corn syrup.
yeah, but it's pretty convincing, right?
Hmm.
Did we watch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid
We did.
together? We did?
Hmm.
Well, that's great that you brought it up. I'm gonna tie that into to
Okay,
something.
go ahead.
I'm just gonna read a portion of. I'm gonna try to read quickly.
Okay.
Don, I will grant you that this life can be interesting or dull or whatever we choose to make it. But even in my brilliant times, I have never been able to figure out why we're here in the first place. Tell me something about that. We passed the hardware store, closed, and the movie theater, open. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And instead of answering, he stopped, turned back on the sidewalk. You have money, don't you? Lots. What's the matter? Let's see the show, he said. You buy? I don't know, Don. You go ahead. I'll get back to the airplanes. Don't like to leave him alone too long. What was suddenly so important about a motion picture? The planes are okay. Let's just go to the show. It's already started. So we come in late. He was already buying his ticket. I followed him into the dark, and we sat down near the back of the theater. There might have been 50 people around us in the gloom. I forgot why we came after a while, and got caught up in the story, which I've always thought is a classic movie. Anyway, this would be my third time seeing Sundance. Time in the theater spiraled and stretched the way it does in a good film, and I watched a while for technical reasons, how each scene was designed and fit to the next, why the scene is now and not later on. I tried to look at it that way, but got spun up in the story and forgot. About the part where Butch and Sundance are surrounded by the entire Bolivian army, almost at the end, Shimoda touched my shoulder. I leaned toward him, watching the movie, wishing he could have kept whatever he was going to say till after it was over. Richard? Yeah? Why are you here? It's a good movie, Don. Shh. Butch and Sundance, blood all over them, were talking about why they ought to go to Australia. Why is it good? He said. It's fun. Shh, I'll tell you later. Snap out of it. Wake up. It's all illusions. I was irked. Donald, there's just a few minutes more and then we can talk all you want, but let me watch the movie, okay? He whispered intensely, dramatically. Richard, why are you here? Look, I'm here because you asked me to come in here. I turned back and tried to watch the end. You didn't have to come, and you could have said no. Thank you. I like the movie! Man in front of me turned to look at me. I like the movie, Don. Is there anything wrong with that? Nothing, he said. He didn't say another word till it was over, and we were walking again past a used tractor lot and out into the dark toward the field and the airplanes. It would be raining before too long. I thought about this odd behavior at the theater. You do everything for a reason, Don? Why the movie? Why'd you all of a sudden want to see Sundance? Yes, do you have an answer? That is my answer. We went to the movie because you asked a question. The movie was the answer to your question. He was laughing at me, I knew it. What was my question? There was a long, pained silence. Your question, Richard, was that even in your brilliant times, you had never been able to figure out why we are here. I remembered. And the movie was my answer. Yes? Oh, you don't understand, he said. That was a good movie, but the world's best movie is still an illusion, is it not? The pictures aren't even moving. Changing light that seems to move across a flat screen set up in the dark? Well, yes, I was beginning to understand. Any people anywhere who go to any movie show, why are they there when it is only illusion? Well, it's entertainment, I said. Fun. That's right. One, could be educational. Good. It is always that. Learning. Two, fantasy, escape. That's fun too. So one, technical reasons to see how a film is made. Learning. Two, escape from boredom. Escape, you said that. Social, to be with friends. Reason for going, but not for seeing the film. That's fun, anyway. One, whatever I came up with fit as two fingers. People see films for fun, or for learning, or for both together. And a movie is like a lifetime, Don. Is that right? Yes. Why would anybody choose a bad lifetime? A horror movie. They not only come to the horror movie for fun, they know it is going to be a horror movie when they walk in, he said. But why? Do you like horror films? Do you ever see them? No. But some people spend a lot of money and time to see a horror or soap opera problems that to other people are dull and boring. He left the question for me to answer. Yes. You don't have to see their films and they don't have to see yours. That is called freedom. But why would anybody want to be horrified or bored? Because they think they deserve it for horrifying somebody else, or they like the excitement of horrification, or that boring is the way they think films have to be. Can you believe that lots of people, for reasons that are very sound to them, enjoy believing that they are helpless in their own films? All right, that's about all that I'm going to read for now.
Okay. Wow, I can't believe there's more. The quote, where did it?
Oh, the quote is from a book called Illusions.
Oh, okay. I thought it came from Butch Cassidy.
No, no, no. They were watching Butch Cassidy.
Okay, okay. I was like, I don't remember that from the movie.
But did you kind of why I read some of that?
Yeah, I could see the connections and kind of what movies are for in general.
And the point that the book is trying to make is that life is really the same way. Coming into life,
Hmm.
we get lost in the story, just like in a movie.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. It's we sometimes we can get wrapped up in our own lives that we forget to take a step back and reflect on everything.
Yeah, I like a quote, you are not your story.
Mhm.
I've fallen into this way of thinking where sometimes you feel like you have to leave a good story behind of your life. I mean,
Hmm.
like people, you want people to look back on your life and see a story of how you lived, and they see their lives as like a movie, right?
Hmm. I definitely do.
Well, if you look at it like that, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because you might worry about where you're going or where you've been. And I only look at it instead of being a story, I look
Hmm.
at it as being an experience. Like you're on a roller coaster, you know, when you're on the ride and you're falling down super steep, are you thinking about what happened 10 seconds ago?
Probably not. No.
No, are you thinking about what you're gonna do later, what you're gonna eat for dinner?
What I what I want for lunch. If it's a boring ride,
Yeah,
probably.
if it's a boring,
Yeah,
you're just enjoying it, right? I mean, you're
literally.
being
Yeah,
scared, but being scared is the reason why you got on that ride.
exactly.
So just enjoy the ride, I would say. Enjoy the illusion.
You're so right. I don't know what else to say because you pretty much nailed it on the head.
Well, we can always come back to it if we think of anything else to say on that.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
I'm
no,
glad you can find a connection to that.
yeah, I mean, there's no topics that are off limits or that are too boring. And you know, you had written the idea down, and when you looked at it again, it might not have seemed as interesting as when you first wrote it down. Or sometimes when you have an idea about what you want to be or what you want to do, and you love the idea, you imagine yourself doing something or being something,
Hmm.
and you come back to that a couple days later, maybe it loses its glitter, its shininess a little bit.
Hmm.
And to me, is because of kind of self-doubt. You doubt that maybe the idea is not really as awesome and amazing as you first thought.
Hmm.
So I'll give you an example. What if this podcast doesn't work out? Like, what if I can't think of anything to say, or I'm not interesting enough to have a
Hmm.
podcast? When I first thought of the idea, when we had that conversation on the phone, like we weren't thinking about that at all.
No.
We just thought about how fun it would be and how interesting it would be. And it seemed great in the moment, right? Like a great idea.
Right. It's literally all about the ride.
Exactly. And when you start to overthink, you know, when it comes time to record the podcast and actually do it,
Hmm.
you might start to have doubts. Like, it was a great idea at the time, but can it really work out? Am I
Hmm.
really interesting enough?
Right. We're not getting enough views. Um,
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
yeah.
So this is an example of self-doubt. And lately, I have been, whenever these thoughts enter into my mind, I've been acknowledging them, first of all.
Hmm.
Even if it's just a feeling, even if it's not a concrete thought, I've been acknowledging it and saying, no, I refuse to accept this thought. Even if I think of something and say, I can't, or that's too hard for me,
Hmm.
I will just refuse it. I will say, no, I will not accept that I can't do something.
Hmm.
And when people say to believe in yourself, you have this feeling for a second like, oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I'm a cool guy. Like, I
Yeah.
believe in myself. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's only like that's only part of it. Believing yourself is every time you think of these doubts, you have to reject them over and over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah. I heard a quote, I don't know how long ago, but it stuck with me. I heard you are not your thoughts because you have so many that you have to like file through them and like give them a stamp of approval. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have like thousands of thoughts
Hmm.
and feelings as well. We're just like a huge ocean of stuff.
Hmm.
Times drift away and then maybe they'll come back.
Hmm. Hold on.
But
I was reading through my quotes on my notes app. Where just if it sticks with me, I'll write it down. And you have one where you said, "My mind is like a forest sometimes."
I said that?
You said it, yeah.
When did I say that?
I don't remember. It's in my phone.
Okay.
Just because
Well, I
it's
wonder
so
why.
vast.
I wonder why I said that. Oh, because it's
Uh,
so vast.
yeah.
I always come back to the ocean one because of the David Lynch videos where he's
What are the
saying
David Lynch videos?
where he says that if you ever forget an idea, you might have the urge to kill yourself.
If a person forgets an idea that they love, it's a horror. And it could lead to a real yearning to commit suicide.
And if he were still alive and he were right here, I would be like, David,
Stop it. Don't say that.
yeah, like the idea will drift back on shore, is what I would say. I think,
Oh, that's a good way of thinking of it.
yeah,
Because I do have like, I think we all have like ideas that come back to us, and we might reject it, throw it back into the ocean, but it's going to come back. And we kind of have to work on it. We have to work on creating our own ocean, containing the ocean, I suppose.
Well, speaking about David Lynch, he's a big proponent of transcendental meditation,
Hmm.
which kind of views the mind as an ocean.
Represents the surface of life. Surface. Practice a technique, transcendental meditation, which, remember, true happiness is not out there. You're given a mantra. The mantra turns the mind within.
Everything on the surface is really choppy and chaotic, but the further down you go,
Hmm.
the more peace and healing and like all these good things you find.
Energy, love, power, and bliss.
Yeah, but when we look at it at first, it can seem very terrifying because there's so much and it's so dark and we don't know what's down there. We kind of have to dive in to see what's really in the ocean. Then we can find peace.
Yeah, I like that because if we want to find peace, that's what we have to do. And to do that is to have silence. Silence is nourishment for wisdom. I've seen
Keep,
huh?
keep that in mind. Um, you did stop recording.
Oh, Kyle, I'm still
What?
recording the Zoom meeting.
Oh, really?
That's just for my camera, for my audio
Oh,
video.
shit. I thought it ended.
No, that's just for me.
Some good
Okay,
BTS. Okay.
so I guess now to close things out, I would like you, Kyle, and all of our viewers to just think about how you can implement silence.
Okay. Yeah, maybe give yourself a couple of minutes just to sit there and think about whatever comes to mind. Or just focus on your breath as we did
Hmm.
earlier. Hmm.
Well, this has been The Amazing World of Izzy with Kyle.
I'm glad I can join your world. It's a lot more peaceful here than it is on Earth.
Well, you can come back anytime. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.